Yes, a very good morning, Jason, and a very good morning to everyone watching. What a last 4 frames Ding Junhui played yesterday. 4 frame winning breaks, and the last one, well, John made a 57 break. Ding cleared up to pinch that, to give him that 2 frame advantage. So good start needed from the 4 times champion here. There's the pot success rate for the last 4 frames, 95% from Ding. In fact, the best form I've seen him in at the Crucible for a few years. Started very edgy against Mark Davis, lost the first 4 frames in that match. And from 5-1 behind against John Higgins, quite a performance to lead 9-7.
Yes, it was a massive last frame that Ding pulled out yesterday. It's put John Higgins on the back foot here in this match.
Foul and miss. Ding Junhui for.
Quick look to see if it's a free ball. I don't think it is, but he needed a thin snick there. I mean, he could put him back in from here if he wanted, or he can have it replaced as his choice. So back it goes. I think John will manage it this time. Better to miss it altogether on the first attempt rather than hit it on the thick side. Well, that's put the brown in a better position, really, to get a snooker in behind. He might be able to swing the white around the angles and get over on the cushion behind those 2 colours.
One.
A very good pot, but just
Yellow.
too far with the cue ball, so just the roll up. Which really is not going to cause a problem. I don't think he's snookered Ding. I think he hit that too hard. The very awkward shots, though, is Steve, just rolling up to the yellow from that distance.
Yeah, they are on fast cloths, but that's a massive error that John Higgins has made there. He should never have allowed Ding a sniff at a complete pot.
One.
If he was going to err on the side of leaving an edge out, he should have left Ding the safety shot to the left of the table. May have rolled off a fraction, you don't know.
An edgy start from Ding as well,
Ding Junhui, 1.
but he may have got away with that. Ding, you would suggest, had the better night's sleep, pinching that last frame, but an early start here this morning and an early mistake from Ding.
Pretty acute angle into the middle pocket, but he's right behind it. You'd expect him to get this.
One.
I think he's just about okay. Pink going onto the black spot. Got to capitalize on that missed black from Ding. Just enough room to get to the potting angle.
8.
Might have got a heavy contact, but he's okay. He's the correct side of the blue, so no problem for his next positional shot.
Could have played for the pink there, but the way the reds are situated wasn't favourable to play from the pink into them. You'd not guarantee a positional shot.
Thirteen.
Decided to pot the pink now. Pink will go in its own spot, I believe. Then he can pot the black. Didn't really want to pot the black when the pink was occupying the spot. And that was never guaranteed. That's why, to some degree, the blue was favourable the time before, but had to really give that a whack to try and spread the reds around, and it was a bit straight on the pink. He's not ideally placed here, is he, Dennis? But I think he's going to be okay, but tough cut.
21.
I think he's just okay. Can still get to the pink. That was a good recovery there. Nicely played cannon to hold for the pink. And I think in the context of the overall match, if John can punish Ding for missing a black off the spot, that would give him a lot of confidence. That's the target he's looking for there. 65 points to leave Ding needing a snooker. Just coming around to have a look. They all seem to be blocking each other somewhat. If he could get there, the red that's 2 from the pink looks like it will go. Nicely played.
32.
Not perfectly placed just yet. Could get himself onto the black here. Pink's available also, as you can see. Oh,
33.
He's okay. He's on the pink. I don't know whether he played that cannon. He did, of course he did.
Yes, if he can convert this chance, it makes up for the chance he left Ding to get back in the last frame yesterday that he gratefully took. John would have been kicking himself. Okay, Ding did very well to clear the balls, but it was John's mistake that led him in. Yeah, that was yesterday. A completely different session, obviously, today, and regardless of the scoreline, each session is its own story. And whilst we say you're never in the match until you get your first frame on the board, you're never in a session until you get your first frame on the board as well.
Well, he bows his head. That's incredible. He's done all
John
the
Higgins.
hard work. He only needs, what, 2 or 3 more reds, and he's in a perfect position. And what a miss from John Higgins there. Now, that could be a big, big turning point in this match. So that's Ding has missed a black off the spot, but the one that John missed, well, that was so much easier. What's going on in that mind?
Wow, what's going on? What's going on generally?
And Ding smiles, no wonder. He doesn't usually, but he certainly thought he'd missed that, but...
Cue ball being cleaned, so perhaps he did get a bit of a kick. It did go thick, so position's not ideal here. Can't afford to go too far across the table. He's quite happy.
8.
Yes, or is he? He must be on this. And from John Higgins' perspective, shaking his head in his chair a bit earlier, whilst we've had the well-known saying the curse of the crucible this morning whizzing around. John's fighting the curse of the up-and-coming 40-year-old, where players start to miss inexplicably through what appears to be a lack of concentration. It's happened to various players over the years. Started to creep into my game around then. Stephen Hendry's.
16.
It's quite debilitating.
Yeah, there's no explanation for it really, because it's not a physical game. It's just, something upstairs with a computer that just goes astray. But of course, there's 2 very difficult reds here, so this frame
24.
is far from over. A quick glance at the scoreboard.
Could choose, if he's got enough of an angle, to try and knock that red off the side cushion here. It's a bit straight. With that green near the pocket.
I fancy that shot,
yeah,
Steve.
yeah, that's not bad either, obviously. But
if he leaves an angle on the yellow, he could move the red. He's got multiple choices here how he goes about this.
because the green's nearer the pocket than it would normally be, he could risk it. But I think it's a bit. It's very nice. He's got enough angle if he wanted to knock the red out. Chose your sensible path.
He didn't hit it hard enough though, did he? He's left it short. He hasn't got the angle now on the yellow to move that red. Just needed the cue ball another few inches up the table to be perfect for that. That's where he was playing to leave it, so it's a change of plan now. Just want to be dead straight on this. All he can do now, you would think, is pot the red and play the snooker, because it looks to be dead straight. If he's got a slight angle, well, he has a little bit of an angle to work with. Touch aside makes the pot more difficult. There's the side, and now he can move that difficult last red. Wow, what a shot this could prove to be. This could pave the way to pinching the frame.
He'd much prefer to play this shot and knock the red out, not off the cushion. It's direct. It's a lot easier off the cushion. This pushes the ball towards the area where it may be unpottable.
38.
Looks like he's got away with it. Could have gone wrong. Would have ideally have liked to have pushed that over the yellow pocket. This will be very hurtful for John Higgins. Got a full pocket to aim at. Not easy off the cushion though.
Played it very comfortably there, and John sits in his seat still thinking about that sitter of a black he missed. You've got to try and put that out of your mind as quickly as possible, but that's not easy to do when you're sitting watching your opponent
43.
clear up from your careless mistake. 7 in front. Needs the green,
45.
the brown and the blue to pinch this opening frame. He pinched the last frame of the second session. Oh, he's come up a long way short. Wow, what a careless positional shot there.
Well, anywhere but short. That's a massive mistake if he misses the brown. It's not guaranteed position now.
Well,
52.
I thought he was going to snooker himself, but he's still going to need a good pot on the blue. He just needs the blue. And I'll tell you what,
Can just pot it.
There's a bit of pressure on this one, Steve.
There is, but he's been a bit lucky that he can actually play into the yellow pocket.
Well, there was a glimmer of hope for John Higgins when he ran out of position on the brown, but it was a good brown and it was a pretty good blue. And it's not a bad pink either. He goes back to his seat. He's pinched another frame off John Higgins. And Ding Junhui extends his lead. He's now 3 in front at 10-7. Well, that definitely was a tale of two blacks, that opening frame. Ding got in early on from a mistake from John, and he missed a black off the spot, so it looked a little bit edgy. He was thinking about the cue ball, what he was going to do with that, and you know, he doesn't miss many of these. Put it on the near jaw, but then John Higgins, well, John's black. I don't know what happened here. He just lost concentration, and if you don't give every shot 100%, that's what can happen, and he knew that that was going to cost him. Going to have to call on all his experience now and put that to the back of his mind.
Frame 18. John Higgins to break.
I don't know if he can get around the back of the black. If he pots it, he might cannon the black, but might just be able to do it if he has a go at this. Yeah, he erred on the thin side to make sure he didn't cannon into the black, and that's a pretty good length there.
Mirror image of the first frame where John Higgins had the same shot on the other side of the table and didn't attempt the pot. Probably see Ding play 3 cushion safety here to the right hand side of the table with a bit of side. Perhaps not though. The advantage of doing that was there was a chance that he would mess up the red that was poking out to the right. It's exactly what's happened. Cuts off the escape routes down the left hand side of the table now with the blue, and has given John Higgins more of a problem in doing that. Not a massive problem. As a last resort, he could attempt to go into the pack, but he'll probably play some sort of shot to leave the cue ball on the top cushion here. Wow, he's completely mishit that. It's like nearly half a ball out. He's aiming more or less full ball. Wow. It might have rolled off, but the last thing he wanted to do was disturb the pack. He's left Ding a red. Position's not guaranteed.
One.
Had to be careful there not to move the reds too much and then mess up the pink. He's done that very deftly.
Jason had mentioned at the top of the show these players have played each other 16 times, is 8 each. But this is the first time, believe it or not, they've played in the World Championship. John won the match in the UK Championship 9-4 in 2008. And the other time they played in the UK Championship the following year, Ding won that 10-8. So they're very evenly matched, but it looks as if Ding is just starting to get a hold of this match after that last frame. The magic number is 13.
Got a bit of a flyer off a cushion, I felt there. Either that or overhit it. He's come far too much across the table. Yeah, he felt as if he got a big bounce off that cushion.
looking at that angle, Steve. He could have stunned that in and left himself on that red to the left of the pack. Seemed an easier sort of shot, looking at the angle he had on the blue.
Yeah, I think he saw a shot he thought had more of a guarantee of going right. I suppose he could have stunned it too short or too far. Is that a plant?
He can squeeze this. Watch it now. Well, he hit the wrong side of the first red. He hadn't worked out.
Ding Junhui,
Because you've got to hit the opposite side to squeeze it into the pocket. No, he had to hit that first red fuller to throw it towards the pocket. Miscalculation from Ding there.
Another unforced error from John Higgins is punished. Struggling a bit now, John. He's got himself in a hole early in this last session. If Ding can punish John here, he's really got him on the ropes.
Yeah, I go back to that last frame. I said I thought it was going to be a major turning point in this match, and it may prove to be that.
Eight.
Looks as if there is one red there that will go into the right corner.
15.
I'm not sure what sort of angle he's got on the red. If he has, he might be able to just stun in between the pink and red. Now he's playing the other one to get a cannon to leave the pink. Perfectly played.
16.
Ding, of all of the top players, addresses the cue ball higher up than any other player for the shot he then plays. And a shot like that, where he was just above centre, it felt, he still played the stun shot. When he plays run through, he's really high up the ball.
22.
And sometimes when he plays a screw back, he doesn't look to be that low. He's a lot higher than most. And the
23.
screw back shot, when I've played against him, I'm trying to work out how he gets so much action on the cue ball from what looks like a stun position.
Well, you're looking at one of the best break builders in the game. He's been a professional 12 years. He's made 385 centuries. He really is top class when he's in amongst the balls. And last season,
31.
when he won 5 ranking events, he made 62 centuries. Way behind that this year, 23 centuries, but one of the all-time great break builders. $50 ahead, and that's the number he's looking for there.
37.
69 will leave John needing a snooker. Can you believe it? Another
Ding
little
Junhui,
smile, but there's nothing to smile about there. That's an unforgivable miss there, but as I said, when John missed a very easy black in the previous frame, if you don't concentrate 100% on every shot, there's another little smile, or was that, might have been wind.
Well, I think Ding can get through. And if he can, it's another mistake from John Higgins in the safety department.
Yeah, it was Steve, as you said, but in between frames on the other table, so another chance for Ding to clinch this frame. Have to be the red to the right middle pocket. I did this match yesterday, Steve. It was amazing, the number of frames. There's about 5 frames where the other player didn't score a point. Whoever won the frame, the other player just didn't get a point on the board. It happened, I think it was 5, if not 6 frames, which is quite unusual. In fact, it was 7 of the 8 frames played yesterday. The other player didn't score. How unusual is that? One more red and colour would do it in this frame. That's a terrific positional shot.
21.
Well, he misses the red,
Ding
but
Junhui, 21.
barring snookers, you'd think Ding has got a 4-frame advantage. But there's still a possible 67, so he can tie with 1 snooker, but the black's tied up at the moment, as you can see.
1.
He's going into 2 snookers territory, but what is ideal is where that last red, should he so wish to play it that way, is placed. If he potted 4 high value colours, he'd have a nailed on snooker behind the black that he could hopefully get a free ball with. That's his plan.
8.
not bad. He's just got to be a little bit careful when he cannons the other red that he doesn't put himself out of position. I think he can still get himself onto the pink. Just be careful with the cannon. Well, he's knocked the pink safe, and where's the cue ball going to finish?
15.
Quick glance round. $51 the difference, with 43 on the table.
20.
So he's into 3 snookers territory now. So absolutely committed to hoping for a free ball. Not a great contact. Not a great contact. No angle on the blue. He somehow needs to get down the table to get a snooker behind this black, guaranteeing it. He hasn't really got the right angle now. He's got to do some work with this. It's very missable now, trying to get behind the red.
Well, that's all gone now. I think he might look at Ding, and he has. So Ding stays in his seat. And John Higgins, a couple of errors there, and it's been very costly because Ding Junhui extends his lead. He's now 11-7 in front, 2 away from a place in the quarterfinal. Just too many mistakes from John this morning. So he's got it all to do now, you'd have to say. We can show you a couple of John's mistakes. This one here, whether it drifted a little bit, he was just doubling this back down and leaving the white tight on the cushion. Sometimes the white can just drift a little bit. But as it turned out, he flicked the pack and left the red at the back of the bunch on for Ding. And then this one here, just the brown was a little bit of a distraction here. So he's just tried to flick off the red, but he hit it too thick, and against a player like Ding, John knows he's got to get the white past the balk colours. But the next shot that Ding played was superb to get on the pink. It really was. And then this one here, just, well, straightforward safety shot, but once again he just didn't hit it as he intended. He was trying to get the white onto the balk cushion. Still a good pot again from Ding, though, to get himself onto the black. So a lot for John to think about. 2 frames played, and he's lost both of them. He could do with the next 2.
Frame 19. Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui breaks off in this 19th frame. His fans probably hoping if he can nick one of these last 2 before the mid-session interval, he's nearly home and dry.
one thing for certain about John Higgins. He will never, ever give up. He'll battle right to the end. But what a battle he has on his hands here now. You'd have to say it's a must-win frame, this.
Yeah, and I shouldn't think it's that many times in his career here at the Crucible he's lost 6 frames on the bounce.
You could clearly see Ding's eyes there, focusing on the cue ball, then the object ball, cue ball, object ball, 4 or 5 times, and then just before you deliver the cue, you look at the object ball. You can have a look, just watch the eyes glancing back to the cue ball, up to the object ball, and then finally look at the object ball and deliver the cue.
Yeah, not every player does that, including some of the greats of the game, but the theory books all say that's the way to do it. I think John Higgins does. It's all going wrong here.
John Higgins, 1.
May have got away with it. Desperately needs something to go right and may have got lucky.
I think he has got away with it, but it's a loss of concentration and a loss of confidence at the moment for John. It has to be said. He's done his best to put those misses at the back of his mind, but it's in there somewhere, because he normally wouldn't miss that type of shot. But at least it's safe, as you said, Steve.
Yeah, disappointing for John. The latter part of this match looked like he was getting back a bit of form of recent tournaments. Seems to have just unravelled a fraction, which is, as I mentioned earlier, quite debilitating for a player's morale.
That's this morning's putt success rate, John, down at 85. Might just be able to see the right side of the table, but needs a thin contact. He definitely doesn't want to hit this thick, that's for sure. That's pretty good. I don't know if he can snick this red in and play safe at the same time, but might go close to cutting this red in. Bit pacey. It's who can get the white tightest to that ball cushion gets the advantage.
think John Higgins was thinking more about trying to get it tight behind the yellow on that particular shot. Trying to put some pressure on Ding, trying to make something work, but in doing that he's opened up the reds enough. It looks like another chance, long range, but there's an escape path for the cue ball.
Hit that far too thick, that's why he's cannoned into the reds, and he's left John a chance. As we'll show you the attempt again.
One.
Well, John, it's time to get back to work. You could do with a sizable contribution here.
Eight.
Nicely judged opening red.
9.
I talked about Ding being one of the all-time great rake builders. This definitely is
16.
one of them. John Higgins has made 581 centuries. There's only Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry ahead of them in that department. I'll tell you what he could do with a good break here just to get that confidence restored.
Twenty-four. 25. $32. 33.
There's one just in the middle of those reds that's available. We'll have to free up another.
41.
%100% concentration required now. Make
48.
sure you don't miss anything easy.
$49.
He knows there might not be many left when John's finished here. Dead straight on the pink. So he can only come straight back with the white or straight through. The blue's okay for him to play
55.
on here. He's got the balk colours, but I think he'd come back across the table, leave the blue. John's eyes. He also flicks them, as
56.
Steve said, from the cue ball to the object ball. Bit too straight on the blue. He's coming around to have a look at that. There's no angle there, so it'll be the green to get up to the 2 reds to the left of the pink and 3 reds. Screw back up past the blue spot, and he's in business. $60 ahead, and he's doing what was needed. He's going to clinch the frame with 1 visit.
$60.
$67 in front. Only 68 in front, so
67.
frame is now safe.
$68.
This is a pretty good performance, Steve, under the circumstances. What's happened over the last couple of frames, it has to be said.
Yeah, John Higgins needed to restart the
75.
engines. He was in free fall.
76.
Yeah, you always feel, as long as your opponent needs at least 2 frames, that you can make a bit of a fight back, regardless of how many you're behind.
84.
There'll be 1 more frame after this before the mid-session interval, and John Higgins will be looking for that to share this mini-session, 2 frames all. And a chance to move the difficult red and maybe give him
90.
a century break. Oh, he's missed
91.
missed the red. So he's going to have to pot the brown and move that red. You'd think he might be able to do it from the green. Made 1 century so far this year. And he hadn't got the angle to move it, so it'll have to be a double if we're going to see a century.
94.
No century break, but that doesn't matter. John Higgins did the most important part. He got 1 chance and he took the frame and keeps himself well in this year's World Championship, but he still trails 11 frames to 8.
Frame 20. John Higgins to break.
It's a pretty impressive record from John Higgins, who breaks off but immediately ties the black up. Happens on a number of occasions. Red comes out of the pack and finishes next to the black. Average frame time there just under 18 minutes, so it's pretty lively. It's amazing, both identical average shot time. great opening pot, that. But a very clever shot. If you look where he placed the cue ball, and he had missed that red, he wasn't leaving anything. And the fact that he knocked it in, he knew he was going to be on the blue, but it's not a good chance just yet. Might just be okay. It's a red to the middle, but
6.
you never know where they're going to finish when you play that type of shot. And look where the pink finished up, hitting the pack and going on the side cushion. So could have finished a lot better for John, but there's still a possibility here.
Twelve.
It's all about getting on this red. You see where he's got the tip of the cue. If he could pot the blue finish there, he could pot that red above the black and develop the black. Maybe get a nice little cannon on the red just to the right of it. That looks pretty good.
18.
It's a funny one. If you just get down and play the cannon, you could leave yourself out of position. That's why he's got up and he's just giving it a bit more thought on how he's going to cannon that red and black.
Yeah, he wanted to be a bit straighter, actually.
19.
He'd be happy with that. Could have gone wrong.
It was about the best he could do under the circumstances. He knew he couldn't leave an easy black. It's a bit of a cut back into a blind pocket, but that's why he's making sure. Looking at the angle there before he comes round. Table
27.
at a mid-session interval. You could hear the referee saying, "Quiet please as you leave." When you're playing well and concentrating, and well, maybe he's lost his concentration with all the noises going on. I was going to say, you can see the people going up. When you're playing well, you can ignore that, but I think that was a heavy contact. That was a kick. It wasn't John's fault there.
Yeah, destroyed the spin on the ball. So when you do get a kick, not only can it sometimes change the potting angle on a cut shot, but it can take a lot of the spin off as well, the cue ball, and stopped it from screwing back. Just a safety, frustrating.
John Higgins, 34.
Yeah, you don't mind breaking down if you play a bad shot or miss a pot, but when it's not your fault, it is frustrating. Steve was saying there. Just took all the screw out of that.
funny. The club players would have been delighted to have been able to screw the ball back that far, but
yeah, they said, yeah, how do I screw the ball back 6 feet? It's something you can't teach. You can tell them to hit the white on the bottom, deliver the cue, follow through and see what happens, but you can't tell them how to screw it back a certain distance. That comes with practice and experience and quite a bit of skill.
and of course, as we know, it's a lot easier screwing back on these cloths than it is on some club cloths. It's unfair on the club players to ask them to play some of the shots that the top players can play.
At the interval in the other table, that's Pete Godwin brushing the table, getting it ready. And that was the one thing, Steve, if I was on the other table and the referee was sweeping the cloth, you could hear the swish of the cloth or the brush on the cloth, and that put me off more than the noise.
Yeah, of course, these days in some of the events where they're more open plan than the Crucible, you can actually see the table fitters now brushing and cleaning the table in the intervals.
Meanwhile, John Higgins has got a bit of a problem here with his safety shot. He's looking at the possibility of a plant, but wow, that would be tough.
I think he's got a containing safety. He can play very slow onto the first of those three reds that you can see and drop the cue ball onto the back cushion. But I think he's eyeing up a more aggressive shot here. Try and play some sort of plant and position. A bit riskier.
That was a cracking plant he pulled off there. I think Ding was surprised that he got that. The other red was slightly in the way.
He actually got a kick on that. The screw back was taking a bit off that. He would have been further down the table. He's a bit unlucky how he's ended up, really.
Yeah, he could do with being about another 6 inch taller for this shot. You must keep one toe on the floor. If that slides off the carpet, it's a foul shot. Yeah, you must keep one foot on the floor. A bit different to the club I used to play at when I learned to play. If you had one foot in the D area, you could play a shot and it wouldn't be a foul.
Four.
Technically, the only player who's actually had a foot on the floor during this tournament is Ronnie O'Sullivan. Of course, if you really wanted to, you could play with big platforms on to reach further across the table. Oh, he hit it okay, but he was trying to hold for the black.
John Higgins,
So he had to
four.
try and play it a fraction thick and pot it. Wasn't a bad shot.
I'll tell you what, if that red had have gone in, John would have taken the frame where they were sitting.
One.
And now the chance is there for a counter-attack in this frame from Ding. 37 points behind, but they're sitting very nicely. Doesn't matter about the pink being out of commission.
Four. Yep.
I think Ding will be putting everything into this effort. If he could go to the mid-session interval just needing one frame to place in the quarter-final, what an advantage that would be. 11-9, it's game on again. Now Ding's looking at a plant. Picking the spot on the cushion where to hit the first red. Yeah, nicely played.
5.
Well, that didn't go right in the center of the pocket, did it?
$13. 20. $21.
Pretty large tip Ding's playing with. Actually intended to go the distance in the event. Generally, players feel that tips play better when they're
28.
towards the end of their life, or there's a lot shallower than that. You don't get too spongy, certainly not on the tables we play on today.
Metal part round
29.
top of the cue that the tip's on. It's just there to protect the wood. Each time it's re-tipped, that helps to protect the cue. Looking good though here. He's taking these nicely. He's got himself back just 2
36.
points behind. Looking to get to 66 points.
37.
Not going to be straightforward though. That red is available into the right
42.
middle after puts this in a black. But the other red, that's near the cushion, is going to be much more difficult.
50. $51.
There's 3 places he could leave the cue ball. I've put 3 balls up there. He would leave possibly the option of putting it in 3 different pockets. This will get it down into the right corner. The other 2 would have left it to the middle or the opposite corner.
$57.
It's looking good now for Ding Junhui. Quick glance around at the scoreboard. It was such an important frame for John Higgins, and he got a kick when he was in the balls. It was a bit unlucky.
64.
But he's got to win all the remaining frames if he's to stay in this year's Betfred World Championship. Ding starting to look very good.
$67. $71.
Bit of an angle, might be able to flick the pink out. Not quite.
76.
Try and double it up into the right corner maybe, or in the middle. The middle, it's there.
82.
Well, that's a terrific clearance from Ding Junhui. A bit unlucky on John Higgins there when he got that kick, but take nothing away. That was a fabulous clearance, and Ding Junhui puts himself in the position. He just needs 1 more for a place in the quarterfinal. He leads 12 frames to 8. Thanks, Jason. And just a little tactical battle going on. Ding will be looking for just one good chance. And John Higgins, well, he's got to play snooker now. Well, flawless snooker he's got to play. He can't afford to make any mistakes. He knows that. But if he gets on a roll, John, we know what he's capable of doing. It's a tall order. He'd have to win all 5 frames. But as I mentioned earlier, he will never, ever give up, this man. He's definitely one of the all-time greats. He's up there in my top 4 players of all time. I'd put him just behind Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stephen Hendry, Steve Davis, and then this man for me. Just my personal opinion. And you won't see a better shot than that. It's worth another look. Look at the judgment with the cannon. Never mind the pot.
Eight. 9. $16.
Oh, it needs to pull up, and it does.
John Higgins, 16.
He tried to double that red, you know, and get himself onto the black. It's quite an ambitious shot there, but he knew he wasn't going to leave anything easy, so it was quite a clever shot on the other hand. Have a look, he's tried the double there, but look at the side on the cue ball. What's Ding spotted here? Can't take that on, Ding. Plant with that distance between the balls. What a shot this would be. Oh. I don't think John was expecting that. I don't think anybody in the Crucible was expecting to pull this one off from not where the cue ball was, right in the jaws of the pocket and distance between the reds.
It was a shot to nothing in one respect. Didn't get enough screw back on, so he's now got awkward cueing. Missable.
Eight.
Might just have to screw back using the other red there to the right of the one he's potting. Played it very well. Terrific shot. was a delicate little shot. He made it look so easy. So that plant that he pulled off has given himself quite a good chance here. He thought it was worth the risk. He's got 4 frames in front, so I'll tell you what, to judge that from where the cue ball was top class.
Yep. 16.
Ding's best performance here at the Crucible
17.
was in 2011 when he lost in the semi-final to Judd Trump. What a match that was, 17-15. But that's the best he's ever done here. He went out in the first round to Michael Wasley last year. But this is the sort of snooker that he produced back in 2011. I mean, he won 5 ranking events last season. But you'd have to say to bring his top form to the Crucible. Could this be the year for the Chinese sensation to possibly lift the Betfred World Championship? Long way to go.
I do think he's happier in this auditorium now than he's ever been. Very clinical break builder. You'd expect him to get over the line here. Doesn't need those 2 awkward reds on the top cushion.
$32.
73 points, and he's in the quarter-final. He's won 11 world ranking titles as Ding.
$39.
Looks like he's going to have to go down for a bulk colour here, unless he can stun across the face of the red for the pink. Yes.
40.
Took a little bit more time working that out. Perhaps he's getting close to the finishing line, although he doesn't usually mess up his chances to clinch a match.
It's just okay there. Oh, he looks pretty cool around the table, Ding, and this is a great performance because he was up against one of the top players in the world, and when he was 5-1 behind, I think a lot of people thought that John Higgins would just run away with the match, but it didn't prove to be the case. Ding hung in there and has played some fantastic snooker. Won the UK on 2 occasions. As I say, he was won 11 ranking titles. So he's won everything there is to win in the game, with the exception of this World Championship.
$53. $54.
He needs 2 more reds from here.
He's got a kick. What a time to get a kick. That was match ball, and he had a terrible contact and it threw the pink offline. Would you believe it? Have a look at this.
It doesn't usually, on a straight shot like that, make too much of a difference to the line of the shot unless you're putting side spin on. And he wasn't putting any side spin on. Perhaps he had a fraction and that made the difference, but a lifeline for John Higgins. It's not the easiest chance now, but it's one he gratefully accept.
Didn't hit that very well. I'm not sure if this red was up into the corner pocket. He'll have to play the more difficult pot. That's the one. And he's got to push that cue through in a dead straight line to pot this.
No certainty to even get a chance to now shift those 2 reds off the top cushion, but he's got to keep in the match, keep in this frame. Points are important. Lost control of the cue ball.
30.
Can't get to the red. All is not lost.
He's hit that much too thin. That's not the best shot that John's ever played. Another chance for Ding Junhui. He wanted a thicker contact. That would have kept the red away from the corner pocket. Now let's see if that unlucky kick on the pink has affected Ding. He's taking his time over this shot. He knows the importance. John ahead in the long pot success department, but Ding could do with pulling out a long pot here. There's that cue ball. Can you believe it? I mean, it's amazing what is happening out there. He's got a bad contact on the pink. He's potted a fabulous long red, and I'll tell you what, you could stand there for, well, you could stand there for a year and you couldn't make that happen again.
John needs the pink.
One.
Struck it just a bit too well. Wanted to be straighter on this black. Now he's going to try and play the screw into the red. Oh, he didn't get it right. He needed to hit it fuller.
8.
He's back in the frame.
It's a little bit short of pace. So he's not happy with that one. But listen, he'll take it because 5 minutes ago he thought he was out of this year's championship. It looked like a straightforward run to the winning post in this final frame until that heavy contact on the pink. And he hit that a bit thinner than he intended.
It is cuttable. John was having none of it. Good effort to get behind the blacks, just drifted past. Ding's got a sniff of a cut here as well, into the left corner, with a bit of an insurance policy, with the blue being a bit of a goalkeeper should he miss it, but it is a risk. He doesn't need to take risks.
Well, he has looked at that shot you suggested, Steve. Let's see if he takes it on.
Still got that pink safe, so that gives him added insurance. Not absolutely sure he played it then. I think he may have just been purely playing the safety shot. It's a nasty one. John Higgins, I think, may have to play the swerve around the yellow here and come in from behind and hit the red off the back cushion. It's a big swerve. He's got to get some late bend on the cue ball.
Where's the red going to finish up? If it bounces, oh, he's just about got away with it. I think he could roll this in if he was right in there where the tip of his cue is, but from that distance, he hit the red first. I think he did. Yeah, no problem. But this, from this distance, is far from easy.
He can't play it too hard, and the softer he plays it, the more chance the cue ball rolls off.
I didn't fancy that one. That was okay if he was tight in behind it, so he's left with a thin cut here, but a lot to do.
One. 6.
So the brown's now in a difficult position, as is the pink.
Eight.
So this frame turning out to be a very tense affair.
Eleven.
Now this is not a gimme, as Ding will only too well know. Needs the rest. And he's got to screw back in such a way that he can leave the blue. Well, he's looking a few shots ahead at the possibility of leaving a double on the pink. He would only need the pink, but you know, he's got to get this first.
Interesting, he put in a small extension on his cue for a normal rest shot. Perhaps it gives the cue more
15.
weight, so therefore makes it a bit easier to screw back.
Well, decision time. Does he try and pot the blue, come off the ball cushion with left hand side and flick the pink out? He looked at the possibility of leaving a double, but I think I'd like to be knocking the pink out. Well, Ding thought he was in the quarterfinal until he got that kick on the pink. Not quite.
20.
Looking at the scoreboard, he only needs the pink. He's looking down at the angle, but boy, what a shot that would be to take on.
Horrible shot to have to play.
John Higgins, 20.
Advantage in this frame goes now to John Higgins, because this is not a straightforward safety shot for Ding.
I think he can get it to the side cushion. He's left the double, should John Higgins want to play it.
Pretty good. Looking up at the scoreboard, but he needs the pink and black.
Well played. Never guaranteed those.
That's the old way of playing the safety shot. The players these days tend to put it on the side cushion. Many years back it was the up and down.
John's going to play off the back cushion here with an outside chance of fluking it in the middle pocket.
Where's the cue ball? Where is that cue ball going? Oh, can you believe it? He hit the pink accidentally. He wanted to hit the cushion, as Stephen said, and to flick the pink and go in off. Well, would you believe it? But listen, he's got to pot the pink as Ding, and he's got to get up for the black, so he can't just roll it in.
Oh, mistake from John Higgins there, big one. He's just hoping that Ding, because he has to put some pace into this shot, will wobble the pink. The thicker he makes this, where he's put it now, he's got to hit the ball harder to get the cue ball up the table. But it makes the pot a bit easier.
It's getting tense out there. That shows you how tight these pockets are. Never easy. Nicely played. John, well, both players need the pink and black. If John pots the pink, Ding would still be able to tie. Well, that was an ambitious shot. He tried to cut that pink in and go up and down the table twice. Now, as it is, John's got a pink, but I'll tell you what, it's a very delicate shot to hold for the black. It's there. Absolutely amazing what has happened in this frame. So John Higgins is not quite finished just yet. It looked odds on he was going to lose the match in that frame, but somehow he's managed to take it. But Ding still leads 12 frames to 9. Well, can you believe what's happened there? I mean, no wonder both players have left the arena. Ding, well, he would have thought he was in the quarterfinal. I thought he was. He was in perfect position. All he's got to do is roll the pink in, and then he gets a heavy contact, a kick, and the pink goes to the near jaw. You can see it there playing with topspin, and just watch the white as it hits the pink. Up in the air, that little jump was enough to throw the pink offline. Ding knew straight away, and that was match ball virtually.
The thing is, Dennis, usually a kick, well, under most circumstances, especially as Ding wasn't really putting any side spin on, would have gone thick. If he was going to miss it, you would have thought it would have gone to the far jaw. So I'm not absolutely convinced he put the best strike on that.
And then this shot here, I mean, to hold for the black, he had to play this with a lot of drag to take all the pace out of it, you know, so he could play it a little bit harder. Look at the drag hitting the white on the bottom and right in the center of the pocket and perfectly on the black. He was never going to miss the black after knocking that pink in. Well, I bet John can't believe he's still in this year's World Championship, but he is. And that's the story of the match. And John Higgins has to win 4 frames in a row.
Frame 22. John Higgins to back.
Once again, a couple of reds tying the black up. It happens so often from the break-off shot. That's far too thin. The Ding will have to settle down again because a few things that happened in that last frame was amazing. We showed you the kick on the pink. And then have a look what happens here. You know, he pots the red, cannons the other red, and the white goes in the middle. Unbelievable. Dead straight shot and didn't quite get the cue through in a straight line. A little bit of a smile there from John. I'll tell you what, that last frame might just have knocked Ding's confidence, even though he leads 12-9. He never looked like missing that sort of shot throughout this match.
One. John Higgins, one.
Bad miss from John. But that pink has gone awkward. The black's awkward.
One.
It'll have to be the blue or the buck colours. Keep things going here. A bit too far for the blue, but no problem with the brown.
I think Ding will be looking to get
5.
an angle on the blue and try, if he can, in smashing up the reds, free one of the bigger colours. Don't see how he's going to win the frame without doing
6.
that. Is just a bit too tight up there. This may be the chance. Expect to see the reds go everywhere here, I think. Well, show you what I know. It's just a much better way of playing it. It's just, you can make it off of blues, but it's tough to make it off of blues, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he did as well. He played your shot there, Steve, so I wouldn't criticise yourself.
12.
Nothing to say that you can't win a match with reds and blues. I've seen it done before, I think. I've seen one match where a player got 13 reds, 13 blues.
Yeah, I just felt like he was going to hit them a lot
7.
harder than that. But he's a very clinical break builder. He can get over the finishing line without the 3 reds around the black spot area.
Got to get to that figure of 66 that was up on the left of your screen.
18.
Come up a bit short with this one. He played for the one to the right, so it's a change of plan.
24.
That's good. Back in prime position again.
This white's going to do some mileage. If Ding's going to win the frame of match here at this visit.
Took one brown and the rest have been blues.
29.
He hasn't got the correct side of the blue this time, so he's got to go in and out of the balk area, or else he might have to take it up into the corner. That's how short he's come up. Like the middle and miss the green and brown. So he's just run slightly out of position, which makes
35.
each shot that little bit more difficult. Now he hasn't got a good angle to get nicely onto the blue. Not from the red that he intended. This one here, he's got to cannon the other red, so not guaranteed. Yeah, he's gone too far.
36.
Needs to pull up. As long as it stays near the line there, he can pot the yellow. If it goes past the line, then it's a very thin cut. So just running out of position and having to go away from the blue. It's just over the line, but that means he's still okay. But it needs a good pot. He's got to avoid the in-off as well to the middle pocket. And to do that, he's got to play with a little bit of stun. That's why he's raised the butt of the cue slightly. Amazing. He just lost control when he was on blues there. John's turn to come up a bit short on the blue.
Well, in that instance, it really was important to get right side of the blue, and now he's going to leave himself more distance than he wanted, and not just for the pot. He's got to try and get that cue ball past the blue line again. Makes the shot harder.
7.
This time he made sure. Always a baulk colour available. Most often a baulk colour available. But running out of reds to play
Brown
for the blue. Oh, he's rushed that a bit.
John Higgins 7.
Yeah, he screwed back on the red. Just a bit of adrenaline. He overscrewed it, but I still fancied. He was stretched a little bit, but still fancied him to pot that. So Ding back at the table as John hangs his head. And this looks to be good. And now he's got a choice. He can pop the blue. He can play a cannon on the red next to the black. That would free everything up, you would think. And what is he, 29 in front? Blue 34. So one good cannon here, and John knows it could be all over. Oh, it hasn't worked out.
Well, I think if he played that 10 times and controlled it as well as he did, he'd get more good outcomes than bad.
Tell you what, this is a thin nick. He's going to cannon into the pink. Can he avoid the cannon on the pink? He's trying to. But he couldn't. Well, what a shot he's going to have to play here.
7.
He's going to have to take the black on and go round the angles. There is a chance to get on that red to the left if he can just catch this, but the brown slightly in the way, I think.
It's a tough cut. Also trying to control the ball.
I think he can go around that angle roughly. That's a pretty good effort, I can tell you.
14.
It was an excellent shot.
And he needs the red, and he needs one colour with it for a place in the quarter-final.
The negative way, or the containing way, is to just pot the red and then put a colour safe, but that's not the way the modern game's played. This is a chance to really clinch the match. He'll be playing this, I think, with screw back.
Yeah, if he pots the red, he's 43 in front, with a possible 43 on the table, so it's a must pot. Just made absolutely sure of the pot, and
50.
he can roll the black in. I mean, it's safe if he misses the black. If he knocks the black in, it'll be the end of the match.
It's a fascinating decision he's got to make here. Does he put the green safe on the side cushion, or does he go all out for the black? No risk of sticking a red up.
Well, he decided to put the black. He hasn't put it safe.
Junhui,
Now, I would have just tried to pot the black in the middle pocket, because he's not leaving anything, and he wins the frame. Look where he's put the black.
Well, it's the wrong shot for me. I'm trying to snooker John behind the pink, okay, but
Listen, if he tries to pot the black in the middle pocket and misses it, the black will go safe.
I think out of the 3 choices he had, putting in the green safe, trying the black in the middle pocket, but it may not matter after another poor shot from John. He's really lost. He's just lost it here today. Sad to see. A smile on his face. He knows it's been disappointing.
He'll be feeling much better now, Ding Junhui. He was very unlucky in the previous frame. He got a kick on the pink and he had an unlucky in off, but John Higgins has given it his best shot. But from 5-1 in front, he will be very disappointed. It looked like he was going to beat Ding here. The pink doesn't go in, but barring lots of snookers, Ding Junhui gets himself through to the quarterfinals. 13-9. Three 4-point snookers needed at the moment, and all the colours are up the other end of the table, so they're quite nicely placed for snookers. Ding, I'm sure, will just be doubling this red up over the corner pocket. Yeah, that definitely looks like the end of this year's Betfred World Championship for the 4 times former champion. Have we got a snooker behind the angle? John's had a look at that. If it hits the black, that's the end. And it's hit the black. Can he get past the blue though? Maybe. Dear. I'll tell you what, he's going to be a bit of a snooker here as Ding walks away.
Obviously, John Higgins would like to get a free ball if he does get a miss from Ding Junhui, but not so easy with all the balls in one area of the table. It's through the gap, I think.
Close to the other corner pocket now. This is a good chance to get a snooker here. Ding, you've still got to keep yourself focused. I don't think I've ever seen a situation with the balls like this. All the colours up the other end of the table. Now this is a chance to win the match. Up off the top cushion, back down, pot the red. Wouldn't it be ironic if he finished the match with a trick shot? That's what he's going to try. So here we go. If he judges this correctly, he'll get a terrific round of applause. And it'll be all over. Great to see Ding having a smile, but
bit unlucky there.
I thought for a minute he couldn't see enough of the side cushion. I thought he was tight in behind the green, but he can just get off the side cushion, as you can see there.
might be able to get in behind the green, but he risks putting the red over the left corner. It's a bit thicker than I thought he had to hit it, so no risk of putting it over the left corner. Fluke to snooker more than anything else, but of course with that many colours down the bottom end, there's every chance of getting this. Expecting to get this.
I'm surprised he's hit it so hard. Where's that cue ball? Where is that cue ball? And he's left a free ball. Why hit it at that pace? Just play a dead weight to land on the red. You know, well, you don't expect to go in off, but if he had missed it, he could have hit the pink. He could have just off the top cushion, dead weight onto the red, and look what's happened. Absolutely incredible. I mean, he didn't have to hit it at that pace.
Ding Junhui can win, can lose this frame now. Just amazing what's happened. Okay, the blue's safe. It's not the ideal scenario, but how is John Higgins still in this match? Needs a couple of high-value colours. Pink and black are begging to be potted.
It's amazing. He needed 3 snookers, and now all of a sudden he can win with that one shot from Ding going in off.
As you say, this, I mean, okay, he was unlucky that it went in off, but don't even take that risk. I don't know where John was putting that now. He's just going to pot the green. Seems to be decent enough shot to get making a meal of this a bit.
I think John's in a bit of shock. You know, he can't believe what's happened here either.
He needs pink or black, surely. Sure, he's not looking at perhaps. Is he going to knock the blue out with the green? Doesn't need to do this, but it's the way to try and win the frame. Is he trying to flick the blue out there? I don't know what he was.
One.
Oh. Surely he just sort of had to cut his losses and pot red, pink or black, keeping the match. I know he's on the pink now, but he's not. It's very hard to get nicely on the red now. It's a clever shot if you can get past that brown.
7.
Didn't really think the brown was potable into this middle.
8.
Oh, he's not perfectly on the black.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best.
He couldn't. That's the way he sort of committed himself to going. So it's a massive pink to take on. I think the pink's the shot, although he doesn't really want to play it. Oh,
Pink.
this is to stay in the World Championship.
It was a big shot that he took on there. A very big shot, and it'll be a very relieved Ding Junhui, because what has happened in this frame, he could quite easily have lost it. John needing 3 snookers, and if he had lost this 12-10, well, who knows what would have happened, but that's all history now.
5.
Quite an amazing frame at the end there. But John Higgins, well, he's out of this year's World Championship, but he will return the way he's been playing. He comes forward to shake the hand of Ding Junhui. John got off to a flying start. He led 5-1, but then in the middle of the match, Ding won 6 frames in a row, and that helped him on his way to getting through to the quarter-final. And in the end, you'd have to say it's a pretty comfortable win for the Chinese sensation. He takes the match 13 frames to 9, and isn't he a happy boy?